Ha? Water. Please. Give me telephone.
Ask her telephone.
Police.
То, что, конечно, я вижу, это потрясает меня, очень потрясает, потому что я сюда приходила каждый год к мемориалу, ну, тут был небольшой памятничек, и мы возлагали всегда цветы с моей приятельницей. Она историк была, и она мне показала, где этот лагерь, и мы каждый год ходили, возлагали цветы здесь. И я так мечтала, неужели вот совхоз Красный, да, действительно увидели, а неужели этот картофельный городок не видно? А ведь он столько много перенес. Поэтому я очень счастлива, что обратили на это.
Документы насчет продажи полного детского дома там с деревни недалеко Мариуполя. И этот детский дом, прямо документы мне попали в руки, потому что там в Испании этот детский дом продали. Я имею в виду 85 детей из детского дома. Ну да, не здание, только детей продали. В Европе разработана с Великобритании система уже годами, чтобы детей просто... Ну, под принципом защиты прав детей от вот родителей, которые не выполняют своих родительских прав так, как надо, они просто разработали систему, как забирают детей из семей. Юстиция, ювенальная юстиция. Да, они просто забирают детей из семей, потом там начинается весь процесс, как и откуда деньги получают, там на адвокатов, все социальные службы, которые забрали детей, получают себе на то, что они там заботятся за этими детьми. Ну и так и вот так это работает.
Да, готовы наблюдать одним огонь.
Готов. Одним. Огонь. Наблюдай.
Воздух. Еще один. Abi sen git şuradan git ya. Tazoluk. Abi şurayı dur. Yardım edek dur abi.
Столтенберг сказал, все уже, вся мощь, соответственно, которую они могли им поставить, она уже приехала. На Украине она есть. Как тут на фронте это воспринимается? Потому что придется потом противостоять этому всему там.
Что такое Столтенберг? Да, это такой Столтенберг. Рэпер какой-то, что ли?
The European Union has just announced in a statement that, quote, the Commission is taking decisive action to fight corruption in the EU and worldwide, delivering on the commitment made by President von der Leyen in her 2022 State of the Union address. So I really don't know where to start with all of this. So how about with the idea, first of all, that unelected Queen Ursula of Europe gives State of the Union addresses like elected Western officials and uses the term president like she was democratically chosen by Europeans, just like other Western leaders with that title. Secondly, that the EU can take decisive action on anything at all, unless it involves Brussels shoving it down the throats of EU member states. And thirdly, that the EU is now vowing to fight corruption worldwide when it was just last December that Queen Ursula decided that, hey, it might be a good idea for the EU to have an independent ethics body, quote, where there are very clear rules, adding that it would be, quote, a big step forward. Hey, you know what would be an even bigger step forward? Declaring that you're going from not even having an ethics body yourself to vowing to clean up corruption in the entire world. Maybe try walking before running. I don't know. The EU has a corruption problem, for sure. And this doesn't make much sense, this whole initiative of cleaning up the world, unless it's kind of like a recovering drug addict or alcoholic giving advice on addiction recovery, because it's something that they obviously know something about from experience. Now, this would be the case of the EU in light of the embarrassing Qatargate criminal corruption scandal currently engulfing some of the bloc's top establishment and governance figures. So now Queen Ursula's EU Commission is proposing to, quote, increase the level of criminal sanctions for natural and legal persons in the EU. So basically, to sanction themselves now, which they sort of actually already did when they sanctioned Russia, and it blew up in their faces when companies ended up getting screwed over and the cost of living and energy skyrocketed. They also want to, quote, expand the sanctions toolbox to cover serious acts of corruption worldwide as part of the bloc's Common Foreign and Security Policy, or CFSP. So basically, they're going to root out some more targets for EU sanctions around the world, as the bloc's chief diplomat, Josep Borrell, explained.
Corruption undermines democracy, the rule of law, human rights, peace and international security and sustainable development. At the same time, that hinders the achievement of sustainable development goals in Europe and worldwide. This is why, in parallel to the Commission's initiatives to strengthen the fight against corruption within the EU, I am proposing to establish a new common foreign and security policy sanctions regime targeting serious acts of corruption worldwide, to complement our external anti-corruption toolbox.
Sure, because EU sanctions have been such a resounding success so far. Kind of like a kid whose room is a total mess, telling his parents that not only will he clean it up, and you can count on him, but he'll also make sure that everyone else in the entire neighborhood has clean rooms too. Yeah, the EU seems pretty intent on riding shotgun with Washington as the human rights global police force, highly selective one, I might add. And I guess it just doesn't have enough anti-corruption work to do at home.
Corruption is like cancer. If left to run rampant, it will suffocate our democratic society and destroy its institutions. Like with cancer treatment, we need to improve prevention.
Just one question, though. Since European officials keep talking about Ukraine joining the EU, do they plan on sanctioning it for corruption before it joins the bloc or after? They're also going to create another bureaucratic entity, an EU network against corruption, that will, quote, map common areas where corruption risks are high across the EU. They may as well just put up a map of the EU on the wall, have a few beers maybe, and just throw darts at it. Start with the places where the darts land, because it would probably be a lot faster than the usual European bureaucratic red tape, and also probably just as accurate.
탈출하고 추락 장소도 민가가 없는 밭이어서 인명 피해는 없는 것으로 파악됐습니다. 해당 비행기에는 조종사 1명만 타고 있던 것으로 알려졌습니다.